What's up everybody, RetroWolf88 here, and I'm here today to tell you that I am an addict. That's right, I am addicted to collecting video games. In case you couldn't tell by all these GameCube games behind me, I collect a lot of video games. And today, I'm going to show you my recent pickups. Now, in the last pickups video, which I will leave a link to in the description down below, we went over my pickups from the month of December. In today's pickups video, we're going to go over the pickups for 2 months, January and February, and needless to say, I got a lot of stuff. Please help me. Please call somebody to help me. I have a problem. I have a lot of stuff to show you all today, so I'm going to try to go pretty quick because I don't want this video to drag on too long. And if you want to see what's in this box right here, which just so happens to be one of the biggest and best pickups I've gotten in quite some time, you're going to have to stick around to the end. Or I suppose you could just skip to the end, but why do that? Because then you'll miss all the cool stuff in the middle. So be sure and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss future content like this. And I want you to kick back, enjoy this video, grab an ice cream sandwich, piece of broccoli, and some Cheetos, and let's get into my recent pickups over the last 2 months. Alright, we're going to start with my retail store / online pickups from places like Amazon, eBay, and local game stores in the area. And we're going to begin with a few NES games that I picked up that I did not have in my collection, which by the way, I'm approaching 400 carts in my NES collection. I'm pretty proud of that. We have Alien Syndrome, Worm, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Baseball Simulator 1.000, Dragon Warrior 2, and Kicks or Quicks, however the heck you pronounce that. Now, I have not played any of these games, so if you've played any of these NES games, let me know in the comments down below if they're any good. And by the way, that came from a local game store that I go to quite often to get a lot of stuff. They're a very rural game store. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and sadly they're closing down, and as a result of that, they are having a 50% sale off everything in the store, so I snatched up a few things, got some good deals. So next up, however, we got a couple of pickups from GameStop, which I really don't shop at very often. I got Atari Flashbacks Collection for the Switch, and if you have not picked this game up and you're a Switch collector, I highly recommend doing so because this game for some reason is being scalped on eBay. Like it's rare to find, but I mean, I walked right in GameStop and found it, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Then we have Killzone Shadowfall for the PS4. Now, I will admit I do not have a lot of experience with the Killzone series. I am currently playing a Killzone game, which we will get to in just a moment. But this game looks really cool, and I've heard good things about this series, so I'm probably going to check this one out, and I love first-person shooters, so that's a winner. Alright, and then for the GameCube, a GameCube game I did not have, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. Got this from a local game store that kind of overpriced most of their games, but this was literally the only GameCube game in their store that I did not have because I have most of them. I'm almost very close to a complete collection, which we'll talk about in a later video. But I've heard good things about this game. It actually got good reviews, so I'm probably going to check this out at some point. Recently, I added a new console to the family. I added, for the first time in my life, a PlayStation Vita, if I can get it out of this carry case. I found on eBay a really good deal on a PlayStation Vita. It came with the Vita, this carry case, it came with a grip, it came with 2 games, charger, and a memory card, 16 gigabyte memory card. And it was a really good price. This Vita has only been played for 2 weeks. It's in like new condition, really good condition. And so far, I have to say, I'm really impressed by this handheld. I like the PSP, so I knew going into it that I would like the Vita. And with that, the 2 games that I got were Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus. Looks like a pretty cool Ninja Gaiden game. I'll have to check that out. And then the Killzone game that I've been playing, which is my very first Killzone game that I've ever played, is Killzone Mercenary. Took me a little bit to get used to the controls, but so far I am enjoying this game quite a bit, and I'm going to play through it in its entirety before I move on to another PSP game, of which I have more to show you in just a moment. Now, I wanted to beef up my PSP collection a little bit, so from that same rural game store that I talked about that are closing, I picked up some PSP games. Actually, I cleaned them out. I got pretty much all the PSP games they had that were worth buying anyway. So we've got The Walking Dead Season 2, Resistance Burning Skies, looks like a really cool first-person shooter, Ragnarok Odyssey Ace, looks like some kind of RPG game, Hot Shots Golf World International, Freedom Wars, Dungeon Hunter Alliance, and Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. All of these games look pretty cool, and I can't wait to check them out. From that same game store, I also picked up Final Fantasy Tactics The War of the Lions on the PSP. Never played this game before. I played Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance, probably put 200 hours into that game back in the day when I was a kid, got highly addicted to it. Really fantastic game, so I imagine that this game is just as good, if not better. We'll have to see. I added another console to the family because it was on sale. You'll understand why it was on sale in just a moment. But I went ahead and picked up an Xbox One X. This is my first time owning an Xbox One. I kind of skipped it this console generation because I've been playing the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch primarily. But you know what? This was on sale. I got this for less than $400. You can't even get a base Xbox One X, to my knowledge, for less than $400. And I think that the reason that this was marked down so low is because it's packed in with Fallout 76. I think Microsoft's having a hard time selling these because it has Fallout 76 packed in with it. I know as crazy as that sounds, but I really think they're having a hard time moving these units, so they marked down the price. You can go on Amazon right now, and I believe they're listed for like $389 on Amazon. If you're looking to get an Xbox One X, now is a good time. You don't even have to play Fallout 76 if you don't want. It comes with a download code. You can rip it up and throw it in the trash if you want to. But anyways, Xbox One X. I wanted to beef up my Xbox One X library a little bit, so at that same rural game store I've mentioned several times already, I went ahead and picked up some Xbox One games. We have Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, Killer Instinct, 2-pack game. We got Gears of War Ultimate Edition and Rare Replay, 2 games in one, which is pretty cool. And finally, Dead Rising 4. I'm looking forward to playing these on the Xbox One X. I tried to stick with some games that were exclusive to the Xbox One X, like Sunset Overdrive, because, you know, I've got a lot of the third-party games on the PS4 that are also on the Xbox One, and I don't want to buy them a second time, really, so there you go. Alright, now, before we move on to the Switch games that I picked up recently, I also picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Amazon. It was really cheap. I played Assassin's Creed Origins. I didn't finish it. You know, it started to get a little repetitive. But before it got repetitive, I was enjoying it quite a bit. So I've heard Assassin's Creed Odyssey is even better. So I figured I'd pick it up and give it a try. Now, let's move on to my real addiction, which is collecting for the Nintendo Switch. I have quite a bit to show you today. Again, I have a problem. Please help me. Please. Alright, let's start with some of the limited edition games that I've got. There are quite a few companies that are putting out limited run games. Well, that's one of the companies. There's a lot of companies putting out limited edition games for the Nintendo Switch. You've got East Asia Soft, you've got strictly limited games, you've got super rare games, you've got limited run games. It seems like there's more and more popping up. And to be honest with you, really difficult, if not impossible, to keep up with all these. So I'm probably going to miss some at some point. But as of right now, I'm trying to keep up. And these are games that I actually purchased a while back that I finally got shipped to me recently. You know what? We'll start with the limited run games. So we have Cosmic Star Heroine, Battle Chef Brigade. One of my favorite indie games of all time, Super Meat Boy. This is the game that got me into indie games back in the Xbox 360 days. Such a fantastic game. West of Loathing, which I'm actually playing right now, and this game is freaking hilarious. I recommend playing this game. You can pick it up on the eShop for I think $11, and it is worth it. This game is insane, and I love the humor. Then we've got Broken Age. That's a classic. Layers of Fear Legacy, which is a collector's edition. It comes with a poster, official game soundtrack, and an alternate cover in this collector's box. So that's pretty cool. Then we have, from super rare games, we have Knights of Pen and Paper 1 and 2. Never played these, but they look pretty cool. Adventure Pal Collector's Edition. It's actually a pretty fun little 2D side-scroller on the Nintendo Switch. I recommend checking this out. I had a lot of fun with that game. Staridin Binary Stars, N++, and Snake Pass. Moving on to the rest of my Amazon pickups, we got The Liar Princess and The Blind Prince, which I went over in my February Switch games video. This is collector's edition that comes with a lot of goodies, including a art book and a CD soundtrack. Really cool package there. And let's run through these really quickly. We got Origami Shadow Edition, Remy Lore Lost Girl in the Lands of Lore, Rad Rogers Radical Edition, New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe U, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, which is a fantastic game. Played it on the GameCube. Such a good game. Can't recommend it enough. One of my favorite hidden gems on the GameCube, I'll say that. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Katamari Damacy Reroll, which is also being scalped, so be aware of that. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, which just so happens to be one of the best games I played in 2018. It's definitely in my top 10 games of 2018. This game is phenomenal, and if you have not played it, you need to check it out. I think they're actually releasing a demo for it on the Switch, so keep an eye out on that. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which I'm actually playing right now as well. Fantastic action RPG. Really love the characters, really love the story so far. Having a lot of fun with this one. Another thing that I like to collect that I got from my local rural game store is old player's guides. So I picked up a few while I was picking up games the other day. I got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Player's Guide for the Nintendo 64. Turok Dinosaur Hunter for the Nintendo 64. Zelda Spirit Tracks for the DS. Another different version of Turok Dinosaur Hunter for the Nintendo 64. Duke Nukem 64. And to go right along with it, Doom 64. I just love these old players guides. They're very nostalgic and very retro to me, and I like collecting them. As I said in my last pickups video, getting on social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and connecting with other game collectors is a fantastic way to build your collection, especially whenever you develop friendships with some of these collectors online. You can get really good deals, trades. It's really worth it, and Instagram has been one of the primary ways that I've been building my collection, because I'm connected with, you know, around 2,000 collectors on Instagram, and so I met a lot of really cool people, and I'm going to show you some of those pickups over the last 2 months. Now this pickup right here actually isn't from Instagram, but this one's from a good friend of mine, and if you're watching this, you know who you are. I actually already owned these two games on the GameCube, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, Star Fox Assault, but the copies that I owned were the Player's Choice versions. I did not have the regular black box version, so my friend hooked me up with these for a great price. I'm happy to add these to the collection, because for the GameCube I'm going for a complete collection, which includes Player's Choice versions, and eventually I'm going to go for all the variants and stuff like that. And by the way, if you have never played Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, what are you doing with your life? Buy a GameCube, buy this game, and play this game, because this game is incredible. One of my favorite games on the GameCube. Everybody needs to play this game. Don't let the Paper Mario part fool you. This game is amazing. Now I'm going to go over the rest of my Instagram pickups, and I'm going to give one shout out in the video to a good friend of mine on Instagram. Everybody else, fantastic people. Thank them so much for hooking me up. I'm going to leave links to, or I'm going to leave their Instagram profile names in the description down below, so you can go check them out and follow them, and maybe you can get some games from them as well. So we have Midway Arcade Treasures for the GameCube, Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Nintendo Wii U, 3 more GameCube games I needed, Goblin Commander Unleash the Horde, Beyond Good and Evil, which is one of my favorite games of all time, such a classic, and Disney's Party. We have yet another one of my favorite games of all time, Terraria. I was playing this game before people even knew it existed, pretty much. I played this game when it was first, like, the beta of all betas, long time ago. This game is amazing, especially for people that grew up playing retro games. Play this game. I don't care what system you have to get it on. You can get it on almost everything. It's coming to the Switch later this year still, supposedly. And I'm buying it. Any console I see it for, I'm going to buy it, because that's how much I love this freaking game. Go check it out. Now the shout out I'm going to give is to a really good friend of mine on Instagram. His profile name is RetroGamingZone, and I'll leave that in the description down below. He also has a YouTube channel, which I'll leave in the description down below. He has one video. You need to check it out, because it's really good. He hooks me up all the time. As a matter of fact, I've got another package coming from him that'll be in the next pickups video. But he found a copy of Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures for the Nintendo Switch for me for a reasonable price, because this game is pretty much out of print right now, so it's being scalped like crazy. So I was very happy that he was able to find this for me for a reasonable price. Then he hooked me up with some GameCube games I needed. Shrek Super Slam. Bunch of Player's Choice games I needed. We have SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, WrestleMania X8, Tony Hawk's Underground, and Sonic Heroes. Instagram, social media, is a great place to connect with other collectors and really help to build up your collection, so I highly recommend that you all do that. Now, another big tip that I always like to give people is to make connections with people, especially people in your local area, especially people that you know that go to flea markets and yard sales a lot. Make connections with those people and let them know that you collect games, and that if they ever run across any, that you would be interested. As a result of me doing that, that's how I've managed to build most of my collection. I'll meet people that are local that find games. I'll buy games in bulk from them for really, really good prices, which is how I got the big pickup that I'm going to show at the end of the video. And oftentimes these people will keep calling me over and over and over again when they get new stuff, and they'll hook me up. And that's the case here with this next pickup I'm about to show you. A guy that lives nearby, he'll give me a call every now and then, and he'll let me know that he's got some more stuff. He'll send me some pictures. He'll give me a price. His prices are very reasonable with some wiggle room, which is nice. And he's hooked me up with quite a bit. So today, I'm going to show you what I got from him recently. So I got 5 PS4 games from him that I really wanted to add to my collection. Skyrim Definitive Edition. Special Edition. BioShock The Collection. The BioShock games are just incredible. If you haven't played them and you have a PS4, pick this collection up. You can get it pretty cheap, and you can play all 3 BioShock games on the PS4. Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. I still haven't even beat the first game. I need to get on that. Dishonored Definitive Edition. This is a fantastic stealth game. I loved every moment of this game. Played it on the 360. I've not played the Definitive Edition, and I really want to play the second one. And last but not least, we have 7 Days to Die. Now, the console version of 7 Days to Die is, it's okay. It's workable. But the PC version of 7 Days to Die, if you haven't played that and you have a PC, and you don't have to have a super powerful PC to run it at a low graphical setting, this is such a fantastic zombie survival game that you can play with other people online. It's just a lot of fun. They did a really good job on this game with the survival elements and the sense of exploration and building your base and all that other stuff. So this is a really good game. Next up, from that same individual, 12 PS4 games. We're just going to run through these real quick. Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, Tony Hawk American Wasteland, Tekken Tag Tournament, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Guitar Hero 2, Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament, Tekken 5, Reservoir Dogs, Midnight Club 3, Kingdom Hearts 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. I can never pronounce that last word. If you know how to pronounce it, break it down for me in the comments down below. I like the PS2 quite a bit. During that generation, I was more of a GameCube person, obviously. But the PS2 is a fantastic console with a huge amount of fantastic games. I have a pretty decent collection for it, and I'm adding new games to that collection all the time. Now, the next 2 pickups, I'll be honest with you all, I really didn't feel like digging all these out because they're just entrenched in my collection. But what I will do is I'll have my editor flash up a picture of these items on the screen while I talk about them. From my friend that hooked me up with Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door and Star Fox Assault, which we talked about earlier. He also hooked me up with 11 Nintendo Power magazines and 1 strategy guide from Nintendo Power for Ninja Gaiden 2. I love collecting Nintendo Power magazines, especially the older ones. So that was really cool. We worked out a good trade for that, and I was very pleased. Now, next up is yet another tip. I'm going to repeat myself from the last video, is let friends and family know that you're a collector and that you're looking for video games, because oftentimes they'll look for you, or they may even have some that they'll either give you or sell you for really cheap. So let them know so that they know you collect and they can be on the lookout for these things for you. Now, as a result, my brother is constantly on the lookout, and he'll find stuff and then he'll sell it to me, and I kind of help him know what to look for and what kind of prices to look for. That way I can give him a little bit extra so that he can at least make some money off of it. And he hooked me up very recently with some okay stuff. So I'm going to have my editor flash that on the screen now as I talk about it. So from him, I got a Nintendo Wii, 2 NES controllers, a few loose PS2 games, Street Fighter Turbo 2, Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo, Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo, Minecraft on the PS4, Mafia 2 on the PS4, Minecraft Story Mode on the PS4, a empty Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D case, and various PlayStation 2 games, which you can see on the screen. I'm not going to read off every one. Talking to friends and family and letting them know that you collect is a great way to build your collection, so I highly recommend that you all do that. Alright, now I'll give you a little backstory behind this pickup. I actually had a large pickup from this individual in the last pickups video, which again I'll leave a link to in the description down below so you can go back and check that out. This guy, he goes around to yard sales and flea markets looking for CDs. He buys and sells music CDs, and also he'll pick up video games while he's searching, and I've pretty much become his contact. So every couple of months he'll give me a call. He'll have a couple boxes of video games and he will sell the games to me for really cheap. He knows what they're worth. He just doesn't want to fool with selling them individually. He would rather sell them off to somebody like me and make his money back, make a little bit of profit sometimes, and he hooks me up. So we're going to go through one system at a time. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because it's like 135 games. I'll stop for any notable mentions that I feel like deserve a little extra time, and let's get into it. Alright, let's kick things off with the smallest of the bunch. So we've got, for the Nintendo DS, Hotel Dusk Room 215, Trauma Center Under the Knife. For the PlayStation 3, we have Mortal Kombat Complete Edition and Leisure Suit Larry Box Office Bust. For the PS1, Spyro Enter the Dragon, Spider-Man, Spyro Ripto's Rage, Darkstone, Blaster Master Blasting Again, Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase, MDK, and Final Fantasy IX. Next up, let's cover the Wii games. There's actually some good stuff here that I got in this lot. We have Little King's Story, Super Mario Galaxy, Punch-Out!, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Zelda Twilight Princess Loose, Kirby Epic Yarn, one of the best 2D platformers of this generation, Donkey Kong Country Returns, another copy of Super Mario Galaxy, 2 copies of Super Mario Galaxy 2, The Simpsons game, Monopoly, The Monkey King, The Legend Begins, never heard of that. A game that I feel enough people don't appreciate, Red Steel 2, actually a really good game, even with the motion controls. As a matter of fact, the motion controls are what make this game good, because the motion controls are so awesome in this game. A kind of sleeve-like copy of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Ghostbusters the video game. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This game was actually recommended in a video from a really awesome YouTube channel called Gaming Off the Grid, which I will leave a link to in the description down below, as well as a link to the video where they mention this game. I'm going to have to keep this one. Let's set that to the side. Deadly Creatures. Finally for the Wii, and this is probably one of the best things in the lot. This is a factory sealed copy of Sakura Wars So Long My Love for the Nintendo Wii. Because of the fact that it's factory sealed, this game was already rare / uncommon to begin with, but with it being factory sealed, price goes way up on that. So that's really cool. Let's move on to the next system. Next up, one of my favorite consoles of all time, the GameCube. We got some okay stuff here. Hot Wheels World Race, Army Men Sarge's War, Need for Speed Carbon, Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones, really good game. MC Groove's Dance Craze, another really good game, Super Monkey Ball 2. Then we have what I feel like is a criminally underrated and underappreciated 3D platformer on the GameCube, and that's SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. And no, I am not trolling you. This game is actually really fun. SSX Tricky, King Kong, SpongeBob Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. We have a loose copy of Rocket Power Beach Bandits, loose copy of Legends of Wrestling 2, Naruto Clash of Ninja, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a loose copy of Star Wars Rogue Leader Rogue Squadron 2, really good game. Finally, a loose copy of Custom Robo. Alright, next up, let's go over the games I got for the original Xbox in this lot. Fusion Frenzy, Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a loose copy of Death Row, a not loose copy of Death Row, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Cell Damage, Scarface, a loose copy of Star Wars Republic Commando, which I hear is releasing on Xbox Live Gold for the month of March. Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. Then we have a loose copy of Evil Dead Regeneration, loose copy of Capcom Classics Collection, loose copy of Fusion Frenzy, loose copy of Destroy All Humans 2, and another copy, this time Platinum Hits version of Star Wars Battlefront 2. But that's not all. Last but not least, we have a factory sealed copy of Scarface for the Xbox. You can even still see the little barcode / certificate of authenticity seal on the side there. I love finding factory sealed games because you don't run across these very often. Next up is the Xbox 360, which during that generation, that was the console that I primarily played. I love the 360. It has an amazing lineup of games, both first party and third party. And let's go over what I got in this lot. We have Castlevania Lords of Shadow, a loose copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, a loose copy of F1 Race Stars, Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls Edition, steelbook version of Halo Wars, Gun, love this game. Next up we have Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, another loose copy of Guitar Hero 3, loose copy of Deadly Premonition, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, NCAA Football 13. I don't like sports games, except the arcadey sports games. Ace Combat 6 Fires of Liberation. We have Nier, which looks like a really awesome game. I'm thinking about keeping this one, but I'm not sure yet. We have a loose copy of Conquer Live and Reloaded. Love this game so much. The N64 version, in my opinion, is the superior version because it's not censored. This one is slightly censored. Overlord, Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is an absolutely incredible game, which you can also get on newer consoles, including the Nintendo Switch. Harry Potter Years 5 through 7, Lego Harry Potter. A loose copy of Crash of the Titans, which apparently is not an easy game to find. Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, Rayman Raving Rabbids. Another game that seems to be worth more than I thought it would be. Forza Horizon 2. Then we have Reflex MX vs. ATV. Yet again, a copy of Terraria on the Xbox 360. Buy this game. And last but not least, Marvel Ultimate Alliance combo pack with Forza 2. If there's one thing that I have a lot of in my excess game inventory, that's PS2 games. So I'm going to show you the PS2 games that I got in this game lot. Every single game lot that I buy, it has a lot of PS2 games. I'm drowning in PS2 games, which is not a terrible thing. It's just PS2 games are hard to sell sometimes. But I got some good stuff here, so let's go over it. We have Portal Runner. Never heard of this game. Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. Sega Genesis Collections, yet another copy of Scarface, R-Type Final, which is a really good shoot 'em up, Ratchet Deadlocked, Simpsons Hit and Run, fantastic Simpsons game mixed with GTA, highly recommend this one, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Onimusha 2, NBA Jam, which is definitely a classic. It's one of the rare sports games that I actually like. Dot Hack Infection, Stolen, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, nope, which I actually have 2 copies of. Midway Arcade Treasure, Manhunt, very brutal game. King of Fighters Maximum Impact, Ghostbusters the video game. I wonder if this is the same one as the Wii version. Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII. I've never played this. I don't really know what kind of game this is. If it's a RPG like Final Fantasy VII or if it's an action game, let me know in the comments down below. The Thing, I've heard good things about The Thing. I probably just lost some subs right there. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Sega Superstars, Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem, one of my favorite games of all time, Resident Evil 4, Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, Pac-Man Fever. We have Ratchet & Clank, yet another copy of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, another game on the PS2 I've never heard of before, CY Girls, Curious George, why somebody made this into a video game I will never understand. Capcom Classics Collection, which actually looks really good. It's got 22 classic Capcom games on it, like Ghosts and Goblins, Bionic Commando, Section Z. I might keep this one. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, with the exception of Spider-Man on the PS4, the new one, and some of the Arkham games, this is one of my favorite superhero games ever made. If you've never played the Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and you have a PS2, an Xbox, or a GameCube, pick this game up. I promise you will not regret it. This game makes you feel like the Hulk more than any game I've ever played. And last, Teen Titans. Finally in this game lot, and let me start by saying this. This is really how I've built my collection. You know, generally if I have the money to, I will buy large game lots and I will pick in the game lot what I want to keep, which is what's in this box, and then the rest I will sell at a good price, far less than, or well, I shouldn't say far less, but less than what you would find it for on eBay. I still gotta make my money back, but I'll turn around and sell the rest to try to recoup my money, and then any extra money I have I can try to put back into the collection. Try to find homes for all these games, you know what I mean? In this box is what I decided to keep out of this game lot. So, for the Nintendo DS, we have Beautiful Joe Double Trouble. I do not know if this game is any good. I didn't even know it existed, but I love Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 on the GameCube, so I figured why not? I recently started collecting on the Dreamcast, so in this lot we got one Dreamcast game, and that's Spider-Man. I kept a couple of Xbox 360 games. We got Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom, and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, Mario Super Sluggers, Endless Ocean, Boom Blox Bash Party, Punch-Out!, and a really fantastic game that I consider a hidden gem for the Wii, Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure. This is a really good kind of point-and-click puzzle game that I highly recommend. It's getting a little pricey though, so I pick it up now before the price goes up even more. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, those are my game pickups over the last 2 months. The next pickups video I'm going to try to, you know, do it for a month instead of 2 months so that I can make the video a little bit shorter, because I know some of you probably don't have the patience to stick around through a long video like this, but if you did stick around to the end, cannot thank you enough. I greatly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not done so already, because the month of March I have a lot of cool stuff planned that you're not going to want to miss. And if you've picked up any games recently that you want to tell me about, leave those in the comments down below. I love watching pickups videos. I love seeing people's pickups. I find it very fascinating and entertaining. I would love to hear about your recent pickups as well. With that, I'm going to end this video. Again, thank you and enjoy playing video games. Because isn't that hardly what life's all about? I have a problem. Please, somebody find me some help.